What's up, everybody? How the hell do I fucking start this? How do I share this shit? Dustin, what's going on? Dennis Larson, how you doing? So today we are doing our first YouTube live of Dip and Sports. So let's get into it, guys. You know what's coming around the corner this weekend? Or actually tomorrow. It starts tomorrow, actually. Is college football. Now that's going to be a lot of fun. What's up, Colt? So college football is right around the corner. It starts tomorrow with UCF and UConn. Thursday, I think it's 7:30 Eastern time. Which is exciting as hell. Got a lot of great games coming up, guys. And we're going to dive into it with that. So, Aiden, what's going on, bud? So the first thing we're going to go through is the NCAA football top 25. Go over a little bit about each team and go from there. Another day in the carnival, in this carnival of souls. Jesus, I feel bad for you. I don't know what's going on in your life, but goddamn. But before we do anything else, we gotta pack us a lip. Copenhagen Southern Blend. The day's going pretty good. I just woke up about 30 minutes ago. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm just gonna throw us in the pinch. And if you got dip, you gotta throw one in too. God damn it, Colt. Why did you use that as your name? I'm so confused right now. Like, Lord have mercy. Anyway, got our handy dandy spitting cap. Go get you a spitting cap. It's $10. Pops on. No spill. I'm holding it over my wife's phone. Nothing. Boom. All right, let's get into it, guys. At number 25, we have LSU Tigers. Here comes our co-host. Yay! Woo! Yay! Our co-host, Faith Kenny here, my lovely wife. Had this email since I was like 12. What were you doing at 12 years old? Goddamn. A day in the life of the Carnival of Souls.
You must have went through it, big dog.
It's cold.
He went through it.
He went through
He
it.
was dark and emo at one point in life.
Oh.
Prop it up against it so you can have a better angle. And then like prop it up against something so it's better angle. Oh.
No, that's good. That's
Okay.
not. Because then you don't see our faces. You don't see
This is
our
a
faces.
terrible angle. Like I did my makeup for these angles, man. Yeah, actually it is. It's better. You like that?
No, I'm good with it. So, number 25, we've got LSU Tigers. LSU is in the SEC West, and they, I wouldn't take them. I know because Ed Ogeron is there, everybody wants to take them lightly, but don't do it. Okay, they're still a very dangerous team. It's still the LSU Tigers. Just because Les Miles is no longer there, they're still a tough team to face. They have always had a very, very tough, uh, efficient defense. Um, their only issues right now are their offense. Which the biggest thing for that team right now is that they just the starter for their team is Joe Burrows at quarterback, who was a transfer from Ohio State, beat out Mike Brennan. Not a lot of LSU fans are happy about that. Not a lot of you guys are if you're an LSU fan. Number 24 coming in is the Oregon Ducks. Quacka quacka. Oregon is always a fast-paced team, and I don't expect them to do a whole lot this year. I actually am surprised they're in the top 25.
I've actually never heard much coming out of them.
Back when Chip Kelly was there, they were big. They were big. But that was like 2008, 2009,
That was
2010.
way before my football time.
Yeah. Number 23, we've got Texas, the Texas Longhorns. Watch out for them this year, all right? You know, they got the coach from Houston. He's in his second year at Texas. Last year, guys, you know, got a wake-up call, I guess, you know.
Hey, my boys are at number 3.
So they check your lines, do profile pic on Insta. Okay. What's up, Dixie Outlaw President? If y'all know, I have one as well. What?
On YouTube. He's got a YouTube.
Oh, good deal. But y'all keep your eye on Texas. Okay, Texas could be moving up that board. Last year they beat they were beating up on Oklahoma late in that Red River rivalry. But also, if y'all remember, their opening game is against. How did you get the fucking messages to come? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Your phone said low battery.
I know, it's plugged up though. It's going up.
Cool.
See you, bud. But if y'all remember last year, Texas opened against Maryland, and Maryland almost whooped that ass. Well, guess who they opened against this year?
I'm gonna guess it.
Yeah, they do. They opened against them
Maryland.
Terrapins. Terrapins up in Maryland. And, yeah, that's what they do. We will get them this year. You're a Longhorns fan. All right, we'll hook 'em horns. I'm not a Longhorns fan, but I'll say it for you. 22, Boise State. 21, UCF, which went undefeated last year and are self-proclaiming themselves as last year's national champions. Number 20, Virginia Tech. Keep your eye on them. 19, Florida State. Florida State without Jimbo Fisher. New regime coming in all the way from Oregon. That's another thing about Oregon as well. They've got a new coach. New coach for them, new coach for Florida State. We're going to see what happens. Florida State may not even be, you know, the powerhouse that we're used to seeing the past couple of years. They may have fallen off. Number 18 is the hometown Mississippi State Bulldogs. 17, West Virginia, which I'm never a big fan of West Virginia. They always move up into the top 10 at some point and fall off. They always do it. Wyoming will be on top, I think, too, this year. Yeah, y'all did. Wyoming, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if without Josh Allen, y'all can do it. Yes. But West Virginia, I'm not a fan of them. I don't think they're ever going to do anything. They're very Oregon-like team where they're fast-paced. Except Oregon spreads the ball out and they run. West Virginia throws the mess out of the ball. And their defense is always awful. It is horrendous.
I'm really still learning about all this stuff, so I enjoy this talk. So I'm learning.
She's learning.
I'm learning.
TCU is my dark horse for the year to be in the playoffs. They have a very, very good program going on. Style of defense that I like, the 4-2-5 that they run, which originated from TCU, by the way. Very, 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 very dangerous defense. Very, very, very dangerous offense. Keep your eye on TCU. Them Horned Frogs and that purple and black are coming after some people. USC, we always know, is usually an overrated team. Not this year. They're at number 15, which I think is actually a pretty good placement for them. They're not a bad team. They're never really a bad team. It's just they get way, way overrated in the preseason rankings, which hurts them most of the time. I think this is a good placement for them. Number 14, Michigan. To me, this is the year Harbaugh has to, put up or shut up. He's got to make some moves, man. He's got to do something. Otherwise, I think he's going to be out the door. Number 13, Stanford. Stanford's always going to be around in that mix with that bowling ball of a running back Love down there. They always have a good running game. They always have a good defense. They're that team that plays nitty-gritty football that's always there that you really just don't want to see play football. They're not spectacular. They're not going to wow you. You're not going to want to watch the game if you're looking for a fast-paced Oregon-style type offense. It's not there. It's not there. It's just not. They're going to slow the damn game down, run it down your fucking throat, and that's going to be that. That's how they're going to play, and they're good at it. Number 12, Notre Dame. Notre Dame is going to be up there. They're going to be a really good team. They're going to be, I think, in the running for the top four. This year, college football, guys, this year is going to be such a hard – it's going to be a really good year. You have a lot of good teams this year, a lot of really good teams. Notre Dame, like I said earlier, TCU is a really good team. Michigan could be a good team, but I don't know if they're going to be there. On paper, they're a very good team, but are they actually going to show up? Wonder if Roland Tide will take it another year. What do you think, Pete? No.
They'll burn out.
I don't know.
They'll burn out. We'll be fine.
Honestly, I don't know. I don't want them to, personally. At number 11, we got Michigan State. Michigan State's another one of those teams that's just always in the mix, but they've never really won anything other than a bowl game. They're always in the mix. They're always a very tough team. They will, if you go in there thinking, it's just Michigan State, they will slap you in the face and take your money and go home. They will. Yes. Michigan State's a very tough team. They're a lot like Stanford in a way. Number 10, the returning Penn State Nittany Lions. Without Saquon Barkley, I'm pretty sure McSorley's still there. Pretty sure. But they also lost their tight end, who was really good. He's playing in the NFL now. He's doing a great job at the preseason, which we'll get to the preseason of the NFL later. So we're going to have to see how they do. I'm not sure if they deserve that number 10. But then again, who am I to judge? They could surprise everybody. Number 9 is Auburn. Auburn, I think Auburn did play very well last year, much to my surprise. I did not think they were going to be a very good team, but they did show up and played very well against us. The first game, I'm a Georgia fan. They played very well against us in the first game. Only loss we had all season, except for the national championship. And then the second game, we came back and whooped their butts. But nonetheless, they played a very good game. And so I expect some good competition out of them. I expect them to be in the running for the playoffs as well. Miami, number 8, down there with Coach Mark Richt. Now, they open against LSU. Now, that's going to be a game where you've got to look at it. Message retracted. Wonder if I'm not there. Why is your message being retracted? Gonna have to mess with this thing. Anyway, guys, if you have a way to share this live with your friends, your buddies, share it with them. Just let them know. Number 8, Miami is going to be starting the year off against LSU. Now, Miami this year is a very good team. They've got a lot of returning guys. One, their quarterback, Malik Rozier, who showed out last year, was in the Heisman racing. And as a dog fan, why do you look like you just like spaced the fuck out?
I'm a little bit. I'm listening to. I'm learning.
You just take it on one moment.
I'm like a sponge soaking this in.
Ear break. All right. LSU has a lot of good players coming as well in that game. The big question for LSU is if they can get a quarterback to play right. Joe Burrows obviously came from Ohio State, did not play last year, didn't play much last year. Transferred over to LSU. Ogeron, up there. Oh, yeah, we're just going to run the ball down their throat and, be stronger. We're going to put a little steroids in their protein shakes, and that'll just give them that extra boost. That kind of mentality. Which is, that's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do.
Yeah, that was a good representation.
Good representation?
I don't know. That was pretty good. It was almost spot on.
Spot on. You like the steroids and
Oh,
the
yeah.
protein shake? I do too. So with that, I still think that's going to be a very tough game for Miami because Mark Richt has had trouble with LSU. He has had a lot of trouble in the past with LSU. Since he's been to Miami, he's been making moves. He's been playing hard. He's had a very, very good team that he's built up there or down there. So it's not that I don't think that they can beat them. It's that is Mark Richt going to choke like he has done in the past with teams he should have beat the crap out of? Because if we're looking at this, if there's anybody else down there in Miami right now with that team, Miami should wipe the floor with LSU. But it's Mark Richt. I know Mark Richt very well because he was a coach at Georgia, and we had a bunch of times where we should have wiped the floor with teams, and we didn't. So keep your eye on that game. That's on Saturday. That's going to be a late night game too, I do believe. Number 7, Oklahoma. Their backup quarterback last year is going to be starting this year. Is very, very good. Very Baker Mayfield-like in how he throws the ball. Plus, he is faster than Baker Mayfield. So there'll be a lot of options out of that offense, especially if you're Lincoln Riley, who runs maybe 10 plays a game and scores 50-something points. It's ridiculous.
I wonder if he's as big of an airhead as Baker is.
Hey, you leave Baker alone.
Hey.
He's on my side now.
Well, he ain't on mine. I've never liked Baker to begin with. I thought he was a douche.
You never liked him?
No.
All right, at number 6, we've got Washington. The Huskies and Purple and Gold Factory Men. That's going to be – I don't expect them to stay there. I don't. I expect them to drop. Actually, the first game is Auburn versus Washington, so that's going to be something to watch. Somebody's moving in the top 10 week 1, just so you know, regardless. Number 5, Ohio State. We've got a lot of problems up there with Urban Meyer right now. I have never liked Urban Meyer. We'll get into that a little bit later. Number 4, Wisconsin. Number 3, the Georgia Bulldogs.
Go Dogs.
Returning from the running up of the national championship. Number 2, Clemson, who looks very, very scary this year. They're scary. And then the number 1, of course, is the Alabama Crimson Tide, we're having a lot of your Gamecocks are they're in the SEC. Anyway, Alabama is still deciding on who they're going to start at quarterback, which they don't have. They play Louisville first, which is going to be pretty funny to watch. Yeah, we play Austin P.
Who in the Sam hell is that?
Some slack Division II team that we should. Georgia's going to be beating the shit out of somebody.
Listen, what I just asked should have answered my question. Who the hell is that?
Yeah. The Auburn-Washington game, keep an eye on that one. It's going to be good. It's going to be a very good game. Somebody's moving in the top 10. Now, what I think is going to happen is Auburn's going to move up. I'm a little biased because I'm an SEC football guy. I think the SEC has the best football talent. That's my opinion. I don't think Washington has the talent to stick with an Auburn team because out of the Pac-12, they're fast. They're big. Out in the Big 12, they are fast. Big Ten is big. Big Ten's big. Big Ten has Wisconsin. Those Wisconsin boys are just like Stanford. They run it down your throat and don't give a damn if you're in their way. They run you over. Michigan's kind of like that too. Michigan State's like that. Iowa's definitely like that. And I'll also keep your eye on Iowa this year. They made some moves last year, but this year I think they can make some more moves. Now, do I think they're going to make it to the playoffs or anything like that? No, I don't think they're going to make it there. But they're going to be a good team, and they could knock off some teams like Wisconsin, Penn State, like they did last year. Utah is a very good team. But here's the thing about the SEC. And the ACC is kind of similar too. The SEC is big. The SEC is fast. It is both brands of fast and strong put together. And that's like across the board, across the teams. Like Big Ten has Ohio State, which is their only real speed-like team that would be compared to a Big 12 team. But the rest of those are big, bulky, run-first football teams. Out in the Pac-12, most of those guys are run-first, power football teams. The Big 12 likes to spread it out and get around and beat you on the edge. They are speed. The SEC and the ACC do both. They can do both, which is why I feel like they are the best. I think that the SEC has more talent and more top 10 teams than the ACC. That's why I say SEC is the better brand of football, or the best conference in football. Now, don't get me wrong. Clemson is definitely one of the best teams in the nation right now. But also with Jimbo Fisher leaving Florida State, I don't know how that's going to go with Florida State's chances of still contending as a top team. Got spit, guys. Got spit. Sorry. This is Dip in Sports. Miami is a very good team, but it's Mark Richt. Going to be honest. And we all saw what happened to them in the ACC championship when they played Clemson last year. BYU and Utes are good on my side of states. BYU, I'm going to be honest with you, BYU sucks. BYU is an awful team. Utah is a good team. Utah could do some things but I don't know. They could knock on Colorado's door. Colorado could be knocking on their door. They're one of those in between teams, kind of like, in my opinion, they're very, very similar to Oklahoma State. Very similar to Oklahoma State. Or Oklahoma State could be that team. They could be there. They could be in the playoffs. They could make something happen, but they don't do it. Yeah. So, the Longhorns, Texas is a team you need to look at as well. Keep an eye on them this year. They're going to be moving up in the top 25. I'm almost going to guarantee it. I think that they will be a very good team this year. TCU is my dark horse to be in the playoffs, maybe even win the whole thing this year. Now, the one that I have, God is their mascot. Yeah. The one thing that I will say about the one team that I'm choosing to win it all is Georgia. I think Georgia's got the best chance to win the entire thing this year. We have a returning quarterback who is very talented as a true freshman. He's built on that. He's gotten better over the offseason. We've got 4 running backs who are ridiculous. Now, we lost 2 in Nick Chubb and Sony Michel, but at the same time, we gained like 2 back that are freshmen that are fast and big. Very, very big. I mean, we got one guy we call Zeus, if that gives you any idea. I did too, man. I did too. So teams that are going to do decent this year that are going to improve on what they did last year, but not really make a huge difference. Make a bowl game, but they're not going to be contending for a national title or anything like that this year. I would say that South Carolina is going to have a good year this year. They will make a bowl game. They will win some games that some people are going to think that they're going to lose. Nothing like beating Alabama or Georgia, but they will be playing Tennessee. I think they can win against Tennessee. I think they can win against Florida. I think they might even be able to beat a team like Mississippi State, maybe. Out of spite for you, Pete. Don't do that. Don't do that. I know how big that rivalry is. Don't do that. That Clemson South Carolina rival is a rough one. That's a rough weekend in South Kakalaki. Some other teams that I think are going to be all right that might improve is Arkansas. Arkansas is a team that is very similar to Stanford and Wisconsin, where they run the ball down your throat. I actually see them as like they run a very similar style to Georgia, similar defense, similar offense. So I would watch out for them. They're not a bad team. They might knock over on Ole Miss or LSU maybe. So just watch them. Upset alerts. First week of football, and then we're going to move on to the NFL. Upsets. All right. You have Texas versus Maryland. I'm sticking with Texas. They should win that game. West Virginia, Tennessee game. I am picking Tennessee to win that game. I think you're right on that, Colt. I do believe that they will. Do I think it's going to cost them the game, though? No. I don't think it's going to cost them the game. I do think that they're going to underestimate them in the first half and then come back second half and fix that.
I think it'll be a good game, and it'll be maybe keep you on your toes for a minute or so. But
Yeah, but it's not going to affect the outcome of the game. Tennessee is a good team. Tennessee's problem last year was they didn't have a quarterback. They still don't have a quarterback, but he's had a year to prepare, a year to get better, and they got a new coach in Jeremy Pruitt. I'm kind of excited to see where that goes, mainly because Jeremy Pruitt used to be the defense coordinator down at Georgia. Got fired by Mark Richt, went over to Vanderbilt, then he went to Alabama last year, as y'all know. That's where he's got the most publicity. Now he's at Tennessee, taking over for Butch Jones's bullcrap.
oh look,
Hey, what's up, technical? So watch out for Tennessee. If the quarterback can play this year, they're going to be a tough team to beat. I think that was their biggest issue last year, was that they didn't have a quarterback that knew what the hell he was doing. Some other upset alerts. We have, I'm going to say LSU over Miami. I know that's a big one. That's a little far-fetched. But if they can pull that off, that's one hell of a win for Orgeron. Might even keep him from losing his job, even if they have a bad season this year. All right, bud, you take him to the Super Bowl. Mississippi State is playing SFA. They're from Texas. Now, they played them, I want to say, a few years ago and got beat. Stephen F. Austin. Yeah, that's right. Stephen F. Austin, I do believe. Oh, we'll get to that, buddy, Mr. Larson. Boise State versus Troy. Boise State should handle that game. Penn State versus App State. Now, do y'all remember App State beating Michigan a long time ago? That was over 10 years ago. That's ridiculous. But I always root for App State on opening day because I want to see that again. I love it. I love it every time. Clemson versus Furman. Clemson's going to whack the crap out of the Paladins. Ohio State versus Oregon State. Ohio State's in a lot of dismay right now, so it wouldn't surprise me maybe if they got messed up in the head, but it's not going to happen against a team like Oregon State. Oregon State's not going to knock over a prestigious club like Ohio State. It's just not going to happen. Ohio State's too damn good. Stop rubbing. San Diego State versus Stanford. San Diego State is actually a very good team, so watch that game. That game will be coming on 8 p.m. Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to be a good game. That's going to be a really good game because San Diego State is not a team that everybody watches, but they are a team that is very good, very talented, and execute very well. So y'all keep an eye on that game. And the big game to watch for me is going to be Michigan at number 14 versus Notre Dame. That comes on Saturday at 7:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Central. That is going to be a very good game. My pick is going to be Notre Dame to win that. They have a lot of guys returning. They have a chance to be in the top 4 at the end of this year. So y'all keep your eye on them. Now, while I pull up Longhorn's biggest weakness is Oklahoma Sooners, we need to beat them. That's going to be tough for you guys. That's going to be really tough for you guys. Squealers might have a chance. They might. They just might. It's on you for a second.
Well, I really wish I could talk to you guys as much as he does, but I'm still in the process of learning all this stuff. But it's always a good time to learn, right? I am absolutely freaking wonderful. We're talking about one of my favorite things in the world. Even though I don't know a whole bunch about it, I thoroughly enjoy sports, whether it's dirt bikes or football, which I prefer football. But I enjoy doing this kind of stuff, so it's fun. And I'm learning at the same time.
All right, then. On to the NFL. The NFL.
Go Saints.
Well, actually, got some news about your Saints.
Tell me, let's go.
So the New York Jets have traded Teddy Bridgewater to the New Orleans Saints as of an hour ago. Pretty good. Drew Brees is going to be going out in the next couple of years, maybe 1-2 years, somewhere in there. Teddy Bridgewater, as y'all remember, before he got severely hurt with his knee, was actually a pretty decent quarterback. What's up, bud?
My first word is touchdown. That's funny.
Mine too. So Teddy Bridgewater, they could be looking at not just to be a backup for Drew Brees right now, but maybe the guy who takes over when Drew Brees retires. I don't know. Maybe not. They could go and draft some other kid. But Teddy Bridgewater is a very good quarterback. He's a veteran quarterback. He knows what he's doing. I don't know, man. They were very close to beating Minnesota last year in the playoffs. They could have won that game. They probably should have won that game. Y'all be watching. The NFC South is going to be – the NFC in general is loaded this year. You got the returning national Super Bowl champs in the Philadelphia Eagles. The Atlanta Falcons have been stacked for the past 3 years. This is their make-or-break year. Carolina is a very tough team. They're going to be tougher than last year. The Saints are going to be really tough this year. They not only did they have a very good year last year when they weren't supposed to, by the way, but they made moves in the offseason that made them better than they were last year, especially on defense, which is that's why I say the Saints are going to be a very good team this year. They picked up some free agents, some linebackers especially, that make them a much better sound football team.
Did you say that you felt like Atlanta was going to have a good year, Falcons?
Now, I don't think that Atlanta is going to have a good year.
I think it'll be 70-30 just because every year it doesn't matter who they're playing. You're gambling with them, and I feel like they choke every year or almost every game too. It's like you expect them to do one thing and they turn around and prove you wrong.
Well, here's my thing about Atlanta. A lot of people here's my take on this. And the offseason is your chance to become a new football team, to better your football team, to upgrade it, right? So the Falcons didn't really do that this year. They were spent their entire offseason working on getting Matt Ryan signed to a long-term contract. But with doing that, they didn't have any more money to go and fix the problems that they had, which was their offensive line last year. You know, it's great having your quarterback signed under a long contract. Matt Ryan is a very good quarterback. Oh, come on. The Colts. But the Falcons didn't improve themselves. They're the same team, in my opinion. They went and got Calvin Ridley, that's going to be a very dangerous offense either way. But offensive line-wise, they didn't improve where they needed to be improving, and it's not really going to work. I wonder if 49ers will become a miracle like they did 5 years ago. 49ers are actually going to be a very good team. Jimmy G out there in San Francisco is a very good quarterback, is showing to be a very good quarterback. The only issue I have with them is their defense. They show up sometimes they don't. The Arizona Cardinals, depending on how Sam Bradford does and how Josh Rosen does, either one of those getting behind. So far, what I've seen from Josh Rosen and Sam Bradford, they're not going to be a bad team this year. They just waxed the Cowboys the other night. And then the Seattle Seahawks are going to be on a down year this year. They lost a lot of talent from their defense, which was going to happen. It was going to happen one day or another. It was. Good things don't last for eternity. And then the Los Angeles Rams returning with the best offense from last year with Jared Goff and Todd Gurley running the ball. And their defense looks to be a lot better in the preseason this year. But preseason's hard to judge things, okay? Preseason is very hard to judge because you really only get like a quarter of the game to really see the starters. Other than that, it's really hard to judge. Moving over to the NFC East, the biggest threat this year is going to be the New York Giants going against the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Giants can beat the Eagles at least once. At least once. I think it can happen. They got their running back, which is what they've been missing from their offense. I think that's what they needed to get back on board. And why they lost so many games, because they were a very one-dimensional team all year. They passed the ball. And then a lot of their receivers got hurt because they were passing the ball so much. So Saquon Barkley is going to keep those nice, pretty-looking receivers and OBJ and Sterling Shepard and those guys from getting hurt by running the ball. And they're built to run the ball. I mean, they really are. And they always have a pretty good team. NFC North, biggest thing out of that is the Minnesota Vikings this year with Kirk Cousins signing up there with them. They're going to be a pretty good team. They've got, if y'all don't remember, good old Dalvin Cook before he got injured was a really good running back, and was in the contention for Rookie of the Year at the end of it, even when he got hurt. The Green Bay is going to be a very good team this year. The biggest thing, what? Oh, we'll get to it. The biggest thing out of Green Bay is that they no longer have Jordy Nelson. We're going to get to my Browns. Trust me, I'm thinking about them. Huh? Packers have Jimmy Graham, who has been nowhere since he left the Saints, pretty much. Hasn't really done much, honestly, because he's not able to learn the plays. If you tell him to run this away, he can do it and he can catch the ball, and that's great, which is what he did in New Orleans. But when he went to Seattle and he had to actually block and actually had to learn plays and stuff like that, he wasn't that good of a run tight end. No, they are not going 0-16 this year. And I'll tell you why when we get there. The team that is going to shock some people out of the NFC North is the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears are going to knock off some of your favorite teams. They have put together a very nice defense this year, along with a solid offense. Now, there's going to be a guy on that team that I think might end up being a stud wide receiver for them, and be like the new one hit wonder for this year is Javon Wims. So a wide receiver picked up in like the 5th round, and he's been showing out in the preseason. Just drinking straight out the carton, aren't you? Just drinking straight out the daggum carton. Wow. It is your juice. So the Packers. Oh, excuse me, fellas. The Packers did trade Brett Hundley, the backup quarterback, to the Seattle Seahawks. Going to back up Russell Wilson over there in Seattle. The AFC, the top teams, obviously the Patriots are up there. Eric Decker, who was playing for the Patriots, his first year with the Patriots, just retired. He just retired like yesterday. And when asked who was going to replace Eric Decker, Bill Belichick said the cashier at Walmart, which is probably what's going to happen. And he's going to end up being a superstar. It's ridiculous. He does it all the time. All the time. Don't rush perfection. Anyway,
That's why I said mine.
AFC, that's going to be one of your top teams. The Steelers are going to be a very good team. Jacksonville is going to be a very good team. In my opinion, they should have beat the Patriots last year in the AFC Championship game. Some other teams out of there, I'm like blanking completely. Yeah, thank you. Oh, I missed a team in the NFC. Detroit is going to have an off year. Do AFC. No, the Eagles do not do this again. They do not. Okay. The powerhouse teams in the AFC this year are going to be your New England Patriots, your Pittsburgh Steelers, your Jacksonville Jaguars. No. Your Oakland Raiders. Any of you from Raider Nation out there? They're going to be very, very tough out there. Your other big team out there is going to be the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans. Houston Texans could be a very good team. Now, the teams that are going to show a little new light. Kansas City is going to be going through a progress year, which what I call a progress year is they're going to be going through getting Patrick Mahomes used to running an offense in the NFL, starting in an NFL game, playing an entire season. They're not looking to win anything this year. They're going to tell everybody, yeah, we're looking to win and go to the Super Bowl and everything, but no, they're not. They're not. They're looking to get Patrick Mahomes set up to be the future of this team. That is what they are doing, which they're taking their time with it, and that is fantastic because Patrick Mahomes has one hell of an arm, and he needs to learn as much as he can about the game. The Denver Broncos are always a decent team, always a good team, but this year I don't think they're going to do it. I think Case Keenum had a little too much hype around him last year. He was very good, but I don't think he's going to repeat that this year. I just don't. The New York Jets are not going to be very good until they figure out if Sam Darnold's going to be playing starting or not. If Sam Darnold starts, I actually think they're going to have a good year. Wait, what did you say? Yeah, you will. You will go farther than the Cowgirls. The Houston Texans have Deshaun Watson returning. They have a plethora of running backs to return. Some good wideouts in DeAndre Hopkins, and they drafted somebody at wide receiver that was really good. And as always, they always, year after year, have one hell of a defense. I don't know why, but they always have a really, really good, stellar defense, and they've been missing that one little piece, and that one little piece is Deshaun Watson. And he was in there for a little bit last year, and we saw a glimpse of what the future of the Houston Texans was going to look like, and my God, it's going to be dangerous. They are going to destroy teams very badly. The Los Angeles Chargers are going to be the worst team in football this year. Phillip Rivers is getting old. He can still throw the ball, but they don't have anything else. They really don't. I'm picking them to be the worst team this year. Plus, with the Rams over there, they're kind of overshadowed that they moved to Los Angeles in the first place. The Miami Dolphins are going to be in the running for that as well. I don't think they're going to be any good. They lost Jarvis Landry. I don't think the 49ers will stay the underdogs. No, I think the 49ers are already out of the underdog picture, to be honest with you. The Colts, if Andrew Luck is back, they might be all right. They're not going to win anything, especially with Houston Texans. If Deshaun Watson can stay healthy, they're not going to win that division. They're not going to. It's just not going to happen. The Buffalo Bills are going to be very good if Josh Allen is healthy. They were a playoff team last year. If Josh Allen can play like he has in the preseason in a full game, then they're going to be very good. They're going to be a very good team. They might even give New England a run for their money. Baltimore Ravens are really good. Joe Flacco, I think, is going to be in and out this year. I don't know how much he's actually going to play after this year because Lamar Jackson is very, very, very scary, very, very good. He's showing out in the preseason, making good passes, making good reads, running the ball like he never left Louisville. Texans all the way. My top four is Texans, most Squealers, Broncos, and Eagles. Squealers. Squealers I don't like personally, but they are a very good team. Which, here's the thing, guys. I'm a Cleveland Browns fan. I love my Browns. The Browns are actually going to be decent this year. Now, are they going to make the playoffs? Probably not, but they have a chance. They have a chance to do that with a quarterback like Tyrod Taylor. And if y'all remember, Tyrod Taylor took the Buffalo Bills to the playoffs last year. Okay. We'll see in a couple days, bud. We will see in a couple days because they start off against your Squealers. They have added to their defense. Their defense is very, very, very scary, which kind of took me by surprise. It didn't to who's coaching it because we have Greg Williams, defensive coordinator. He's been a head coach before. He's always had a very good defense. But from what we did last year to what I'm seeing in the preseason, especially when we played the Eagles, man, that the defense is pretty good. They've improved a lot. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, we have added Jarvis Landry. We have Josh Gordon coming back. We have David Njoku, who was a solid rookie year. And we've got Carlos Hyde, who can run the crap out the ball. And we have Tyrod Taylor. Baker Mayfield is not going to start this year. Baker Mayfield, you're barely going to see this year. You're going to forget about him until next year when he starts again. That's when the year he's going to start, not this year. Well, they picked him as the first pick. Well, the thing is, yeah, we picked him as the first pick, but at the same time, look at our track record. We threw Deshaun Kaiser in there last year. Deshaun Kaiser was awful quarterback. How many quarterbacks have the Browns had in the past 20 years? Like 22, 23. It's not a good system. So we got to change it up. So we went and got Tyrod Taylor to kind of show him the ropes. Yeah, exactly. Johnny Manziel. We just threw him under there. So it's not something that we want to do. We want him to stay, learn, and then come back next year and put all that together. That's what we want Baker Mayfield to be. But we do have a lot to look forward to in Tyrod Taylor. We have a lot to look forward to in Carlos Hyde, Jarvis Landry, Josh Gordon returns if he can stay off the pills and the weed. And Nick Chubb, too, and Duke Johnson. That backfield is going to be really tough to stop. We're going to be a very rough running team. But other than that, guys, football-wise, that's covered for today. We're about to run out of time. I want to thank y'all for watching. This is the first one. We're going to do this weekly, every Wednesday. Catch up and look forward to sports. When basketball starts, we'll throw that into the mix as well. There was a car that just and sped off somewhere. But hey, if you want to go over on Instagram and watch her live, go watch her. Yes, go Celtics. That's what's up. All right, y'all take it easy. I'm out of here. Got stuff I got to do. So y'all take it easy. Hope y'all enjoyed it.